What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Welcome, nerdy fans.
Nerdy bits.
Welcome, nerdy fans. Oh, I'm hearing some.
Yeah, I'm hearing some echo.
I got some echo in Mexico.
Tech, do you have external sound on there?
Nope, it's gone.
Through speakers?
I got it.
It's all right. We got it.
Yay!
Figured out.
Totally me.
We're good. Yo,
We
I
can
guessed.
figure it out.
I guessed the placement of where everybody was going to be on this 4-man, and fucking nailed it.
I'm so proud of you.
You sound like
Victory
Look at
screech!
Look what you've become.
I was
You
gonna
cut
do
it
the whole
off,
thing.
damn
It's so, dude. It's so annoying. The rest of it.
It's a whole extra lot.
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? How's it going?
It's going okay.
Doing good. Doing great.
Man,
my-
it's just going
Ben,
okay. What's going on,
Just
man?
go ahead. Just start us off, Ben. Let's go.
Tired, man. I've been up since 6 a.m. I'm actually pretty. Yeah, Tech's always up since 6 a.m.
I went to bed at 6 a.m.
I usually don't wake up that early, and if I do, a nap is in order. And today, I didn't have to nap, so I think I might have elevated to the. I think I might have evolved.
You said you're
Literally next-
tired and you didn't have to nap. So
I'm tired. It's 10:43. Yeah, I've been up for 16
He's like,
hours.
I didn't
yeah.
take a nap. I'm tired. I'm better than everybody else.
I've been up for 16 hours. Then I'm allowed to get tired. I think that's
You know,
about
16
the.
hours and 8 hours sleep is like the standard for most humans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now's about the time. 16 hours. It's about the time to get tired, right? Yeah. I was getting a little drowsy around 8, but I've been pushing through, so
Sure.
not so bad. But I did say okay. I didn't say it was bad, and it wasn't coded. I'm okay with okay. Okay is okay to me.
My
I-
video's choppy. Keep talking.
Things have to be.
We're fine.
Okay, fair enough.
The video
Oh,
was.
I put all that stuff out there anyway. Your address is out there. Everything. You're good.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
I actually did that one time while streaming.
Did you?
At your old place. Yeah. Cause like some dude was talking shit. He's like, I'm gonna come whoop your ass. I was like, yeah. And I just started listing like the numbers. And you're like, dude, seriously, stop. I'm like, no.
Off of Hampton. I was like, bitch.
We're not that off.
Come right now.
Right now, let's go. I seem to remember a time where there was some like terrorist threat or something, and Navy SEALs were like, "Oh yeah, you want to threaten somebody? Here's my home address." And I was like, "That seems
Super ballsy.
yeah. dumb." Did you send your kids on vacation? You jerk.
Yeah.
So Ben answered how his day's been. How's your week been?
The past 7 days. Not the
right.
Every time.
Not the past 3 days.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's only Wednesday, so.
I mean, I'm in this week. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess. Pretty cool. I did some research for the show, so I got some stuff to talk about. But by and large, the last 7 days was just sort of, I don't know, just sort of happened. I did play a lot of games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, though, so that's kind of nice. I was able to relax a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm mostly through my fitness certification. I think all the hard stuff's gone, so that feels really good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. All right, somebody else talk about themselves.
Yeah, someone else.
My whole week has been waiting for deliveries. So we had to get a new oven because it broke, and we have a wall double oven, and blah blah blah. We go to Home Depot. They lied to us. 2 weeks later. Yet 2 days ago, I had to wait for the installer to come measure. Today, I had to wait for the appliance to be delivered. Tomorrow, I have to wait for the plumber to put the dishwasher in, and then whenever, I have to wait for them to come install the oven. So I have a huge oven in my kitchen just sitting there. So that's my week, waiting.
That sounds fucking awful.
I'll do it all for $6, but it will be $6 worth of quality.
I'll do it all shitty. Just pay me shitty. It'll be fine. Equal work for whatever. Sarge, how's your week been, homie?
It's been super good. On Sunday, I got to get all of my car parts put on my car since my hand is of tip-top shape now. So I got to lower my car. I got to put my shifter linkages in and stuff like that. So that was super fun. But other than that, just been chilling,
Like a villain.
playing games
Good
like a
shit.
villain did.
How many inches did you lower your car?
2.
Nice.
Ah,
Yeah.
trying to mirror the old penis
I
size.
I could go. Yeah, I could go lower, but I'm gonna try it out. I already bought them out on my driveway, so I don't want to have to.
I was about to say, are you scraping
Well,
or is it just really rough ride?
Ooh, what's
little
that?
bit
Is
of
that a
both.
big old Thanos?
Nice.
Dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
I never take them out the box, and the box I bought it from is like trash. So figured it'd be a nice little backdrop,
Yeah, yeah.
little Thanos watch.
I got a new statue today. Speaking of new little collectible things to display. Boom.
Oh, that is awesome. I think I saw that.
Nice.
Wow.
That was at GameStop, right?
Yep.
Jeez, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's dope.
It went on sale today, so I got it for $17. It was like 60. It's all right. It's all right.
That's a hell of a sell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
The good deals. The good deals. Yeah. My week's been all right. My wife and I have had a pest control specialist with traps on our roof for a couple weeks. Not the specialist himself. The traps have been on
Just
the roof.
hanging out, camped out.
It's a murder. Like, yeah, trapped in our attic.
No, he had
Sort
some
of you
like
suspect.
he had some rodent traps, some squirrel traps on the gutters, because there was apparently a spot between like the gutter and the roof where they had carved out a little hole and been crawling around. And the man and I heard him in the bedroom one night. We were like, that's weird. So they got 2 like the first day the traps were out, and then for like a week and a half, fucking nothing. And we kept hearing some shit, and he kept checking. He couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And then earlier this week, he found out looked like there was some debris in the gutter further towards the front of the house. So there was probably another spot where they dug in. So he closed up the first one and moved the traps down, and we got another squirrel yesterday. So I think we have deported the whole family of squirrels to a park somewhere. And things will be fine. So that's fun. We're going to wait for the bill, though, before we tell everybody how fun it really was.
Like the park where your dogs
Where your
go when
dogs
they get
go.
too old.
Yeah.
No, they're a humane like, rodent control. So like they catch them and take them to like Tower Grove Park and let them out where there's trees and shit, where they can be family again. So, so that's the thing. I also had to tell my wife today that I saw the squirrel coming home one night at like 9:00, and forgot to tell her in the morning. And so when she called after work that day, when she saw it when she got home, the guy came the next day, so there was a squirrel there like a day and a half, and she was very mad at me. She was like, "You mean there was a squirrel in a trap over 2 nights?" And I was like, "Yeah, I forgot."
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sucks.
That does suck. For a squirrel.
yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
Mark, the guy that does the rodent removal,
Mark the squirrel.
Mark
Oh.
did say it was fine. I called him to make sure, because my wife is incessant. I kill dragons in games, and she's like, "Oh, he's just hungry, bitch."
Wait. So you said bitch?
So you said bitch though.
In response to that, I do. Yeah. We do it to each other a lot. We call each other bad names. Anyway, enough with how our weeks have been. How has this week in the video game news been? Man, there's a lot of stuff. Let's talk about the bummer thing first, which isn't really a bummer, but is kind of a bummer. E3, I guess, announced that they plan to continue plans for their show in June, despite the fact that LA declared a state of emergency,
Wow.
which is something.
That's kind of odd.
Well, a lot of people are pulling out of like a lot of festivals, like South by Southwest is getting hit by
Yeah.
like people
Mhm.
dropping off. Emerald City Comic Con, a bunch of big sponsors are pulling out. There's now's not a time for a bunch of people from all over the world to get together.
No, definitely not. And it's interesting because like we just had PAX impacted by it. Like Sony didn't show up to PAX, and a bunch of others didn't show up to PAX. Not a ton, but still a bunch of others didn't show up. And then GDC, which is a big convention in San Francisco, got canceled completely, and is being moved to later this summer. So It'll be interesting to see how long the whole coronavirus thing hangs out. There's some rumors that it seems to be like China's got it mostly isolated now, and now it's up to everybody else to keep it isolated, which is a good thing. It's hard to tell. I am no disease specialist. Yeah.
It's crazy to hear that they're like there's a state of emergency of that, but like the Olympics are in Japan this year, and there's not been any talk about like canceling the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like let's bring all of the like highest tier athletes to the country right next door, and there's no issue with that so far. But California's like, hang on a second.
Yeah,
Do what?
schools.
Technically, they're the healthiest, so they might be okay.
Schools in Japan are closed for a month starting Monday. They're just shutting down schools. Just, hey, you get a long spring break.
Interesting.
So they're definitely taking precautions, but I don't know. I think Japan and like India, which apparently India's mostly fine, and they're like right next door. They're reacting the way you would see a country who was ready to react to something like this react, and we've been pretty slow about it. We only had like 7 or 8 CDC testing places that were like open when it started landing here, and now we're gonna have thousands because it took us like a month to figure out, hey, we should fucking do this.
Did you see the video from the White House? The press was trying to ask, "Hey, are the uninsured are the uninsured able to get tested?" And Mike Pence like closed his notes and just turned and walked away, and the whole staff walked away, and the reporter's like, "Can the uninsured get tested?" And one of the staffers is like, "You can yell all you want, we're not going to answer."
Nice. Great.
Or you can yell all you want, you're not going to get what you want. Something like that.
That's kind of gangster. Like, fuck your question, dude.
Gangsta stupid, but
They're stupid, but still gangster.
Yeah, it's still, after he said that, there was the glasses and the...
Yeah, the thug life.
That happened.
So does that
in real
mean
life.
we're not going to handle it as well as China or people with universal health care? So it's going to be a bigger problem here?
Oh, they're
No,
probably gonna make some money off of it. They're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also voted down a bill to restrict how much money the pharmaceutical companies can charge for the drug, for the antidote or that whatever.
Yay, politics.
So they cannot charge whatever they want.
Locked out. Yeah, no, it's our medical system is
Choice.
It's choice. Yeah, it's choice. It's fucking choice, dude. All right, moving on to better and brighter pastures. How GameStop plans to save itself.
Very good. Nice.
It's closing down. That's how it saves itself.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a ton of time over this, because we talked about GameStop and their shortcomings a lot last week. But there are experimental stores. There will be a link in the show notes. I can drop this link specifically in the chat if anybody wants to see it. GameStop has plans for updating stores so that there's like bays to play games in and a big tabletop area for people to do tabletop games, and moving most of the we've got game cases against the walls into here's the top sellers, and then here's a giant LED display you can interact with that lets you order things and see what's in stock. Those stores exist. The problem is they exist in one place, maybe 2. So yeah, I don't know. Check this out. See the experimental stuff. IGN has a pretty good article up that's got a lot of photos, and it looks dope.
It's going to cost a lot of money for them to do this.
Yes, and that's the
Would
other
that
thing.
be the problem that's going to hinder it rolling out to major cities?
Yes.
How much money this is going to cost? This does look amazing. It's like something that we all talked about wanting to do one day, have a bar that has this type of atmosphere and energy. Obviously, they wouldn't have a bar, but Wizard Wagon Loop does this. They have the whole back game room. That's popping.
Yep.
That does look great. Wow, that looks great.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks fucking dope.
Every time I hit the arrow key, it scrolls 6 pictures.
So the question.
If they have Funko displays, I'm there.
Oh, so yeah. Here's the other thing. There's 4 concepts GameStop's testing. GameStop 2.0, which I assume is this. Cleaner, more accessible retail space with couch co-op gaming on large TVs, hands-on accessories, tabletop gaming, and up to a dozen gaming bays where people can sit down and play PC, Xbox One, PS4, Switch. That's this one. GameStop Social has 2 couch co-op gaming setups, 36 gaming bays.
Wow.
It's designed for watch parties, esports tournaments, coding classes, vacation camps, birthday parties, and more. GameStop Retro, which if you need me to describe that,
yes,
you wrong. And then this one will pique your interest, Tech. GameStop Pop.
Shut up.
Whoa.
Designed with a hardcore collector in mind. There are still games and couch co-op gaming, but the shelves are filled with expensive gaming collectibles, apparel, accessories, and pops.
Yeah, sign me up. I'm with that.
So we talked about
maybe
this.
they can't have how many stores they have now, Caleb?
6,000.
Yeah, maybe
Around.
you can't have 6 stores
Yep.
anymore.
Me and my
Right.
buddies were talking about this. Like, IKEA has a store every couple hundred miles. And it's an
Right.
event. You go because it's something cool to do. And if GameStop has 6,000 stores, and we counted 12 in the St. Louis metro area,
Yeah,
and if you count out to, like, West County and, like, Wentzville, it's, like, 15 or 16. That needs to be 4. Tops. They need to shear, like, 2/3 of their stores. 6,000 down to 2,500. Use all that extra money that you're saving to...
It's a lot of workers.
Are they the store hours? Is that going to be like it's going to go over well with customers who want this? Like their store hours, is that going to work? Like they close at like 8, some 9.
Some 9. My store closes at 9. I would imagine that you would see stores open later, for sure. Right now, we're 10 to 9 o'clock every day, but Wednesday or Sunday, and the Sunday we're 11 to 6. And you could arguably be open, 10 to 10 or 12 to midnight, just 12 to 12. Move it back a little bit. You don't need to be getting shit. You don't need to get your games at 10 in the morning. Fuck off. And Saturday, you could be open 10 to midnight. That's fine. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I also wouldn't want to be at GameStop at midnight unless they were willing to invest in some kind of on-site security.
Yeah, I was going to mention security.
Yeah, especially with, I don't think you can do an esports tournament anymore without having security, being as that Madden thing happened a couple of years ago, and like that's just a problem our country is dealing with overall. I don't expect to have a place holding tournaments that are competitive and for money or whatever that late and not have security. But that's a whole other argument. What? Go ahead.
Can they do this in malls? Like, is it possible to even have this concept inside of a mall? Because a lot of GameStops are in malls.
Yeah. So yes for the concept, no for the hours. Most malls are strict.
It needs to be like an external store, some with both entrances.
Yep, if it's external facing, then they can be open as late as they want. But the ones that I've seen in St. Louis are all built into the malls, so they'd have to close when the mall closes.
What about how they monetize it? How do you monetize all these
So
games?
the conversations are around altering the pro membership to being monthly if you want to participate in this, and
That's cool.
the levels that you pay monthly determine how many hours you have to play. So if you pay $10 a month, you get 10 hours a month to play. If you pay $20 a month, you get 40 hours a month to play, something like that, where you get to come in and use an allotted amount of time, and you can use it all in one day if you wanted, or you can spread it out and go once a week for 4 weeks and put 2 hours in each time and get your money's worth or something like that. So
I pay $15 a month and I have unlimited time. Cause Xbox Live.
But you're not doing tournaments in big open planned areas full of people and competing like that. And that could be cool. I don't know. The reality is they have to survive until they can implement this. And I don't think that's nearly as feasible as the implementation itself. Let's see, what else? Let's move through these. New Star Wars game accidentally showed up today.
Well, let's qualify. It didn't exactly.
So it was found. Right. It was data mined. There was it was in the UK. A PlayStation Network, a PSN site store database for the UK store was data mined, and someone found a placeholder for a game called Star Wars Project Maverick, which we knew that EA was working on a couple of Star Wars titles. The first being the follow-up to Jedi Fallen Order, which was very good. If you haven't played it, you should play it. We know we're getting a sequel to that. But the second was under wraps. Not many people knew about it. And so this is kind of a confirmation that it's still a thing. I don't think there's a date tied to this, though.
Which one do you think is still a thing? Which Star Wars game do you think is still a thing? Like a canceled one is still a thing, or
No, there were EA's been canceling Star Wars projects for years.
right?
And they canceled one relatively recently, and people thought it was Project Maverick. And then this shows up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody knows what Project.
No. We don't know what it is. We do know that it's being made by the guys that made Battlefront.
Is that DICE, right?
EA Motive.
Oh, I thought DICE was the developer for
It
that.
was both.
Okay.
Yeah, the rumors are that it's going to be a smaller, more unusual project at EA Motive in Montreal.
Interesting. I want to know kind of what else they're in charge of, or what they've done.
Yeah, look that up. Look that up.
Yeah, Motive Studios.
We had the conversation last week about what kind of Star Wars shit we wanted, so there you go. We want more Star Wars, and we're starting to see it, maybe. So
This might expand on something different. I need more information. Well, I get excited. I know people
Yeah.
see that artwork and probably got excited, but
right.
I need
What if this Project Maverick is like a dogfight game and it's Maverick based on Top Gun?
Oh my God, that's actually a really good theory.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Maverick, Top Gun, dogfighting. If we get X-Wing versus TIE Fighter,
Oof.
Oh, that would be a smallish game, just a simple PvP space battle game.
Yep, unusual because
like
it's only dogfighting and games don't come out. Yo,
4v4
Ryan,
in asteroid
fucking,
fields and shit.
That's some fucking bro shit you just threw out there. I like that. Yeah, that's genius, and Maverick now makes sense for a development title. 100%. You're hearing it here first, folks. Project Maverick
You're in it
is an
first.
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I need to get like a soundbite that's like world premiere, so we can break news and shit. That's dope. I'm excited about that now, but I'm excited about the idea of it.
Well, I'm excited about what it might be. But.
Yeah, right. Keeping it in the family, as those in... Never mind, I'm not going to say where. Star Wars Battlefront 2 added a shit ton of content. Tech and Ben, you guys have played this a bunch, right?
I played it recently.
Tech, would you get into Battlefront 2?
It's installed right now.
Yeah, I played it a bit. Played a lot. Not a lot. A bit. A lot of bit.
A lot of bit.
A lot of
Somewhere
bit.
between a bit and a lot.
Yeah.
Like a little bunch.
A little lot.
So, let me just read the first line of this Game Informer article. Andrew Reiner, I know you write good stuff, but yo, homie, this sucks. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has quietly transformed into a success story, moving from the microtransaction-heavy bowels of the Sarlacc pit
Come on.
to the comfy seat of a soaring X-Wing carrying a payload of free content. And we'll get past that now.
X-Wings don't carry payloads.
Unless they're firing rockets or bombs, proton bombs, torpedoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a payload.
I wouldn't call that a payload.
It is on a jet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ooh, got him.
the game's latest update dubbed... Ooh, boom, got him. Boom, roasted. The game's latest update, dubbed Age of Rebellion, is impressive in size. Focusing on the original trilogy, players can now play cooperatively on the classic locations of Mos Eisley, Yavin 4, Hoth, Jabba's Palace, Endor, the Kessel Mines, and Death Star 2. That's a fucking ton, which is awesome. As an added bonus, DICE is making co-op play available on the prequel-era capital ships, the Venator and Dreadnought. This update also introduces the Ewok Hunter as an infiltrator unit with a bow and arrow, and the ISB agent, a dual-wielding infiltrator.
So yeah, you can play as a mother effing Ewok, you guys. You can you could throw this like satchel of like lightning bugs that confuses them. You got a bow and arrow. What else did I see? Oh, there's like a horn. I forgot what the horn did. I think it reinforces your friends or something. It's that. Remember that sound?
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah, I definitely needed to re-download this.
Yeah.
I have fun, man. I found a new strategy, and as we're going to be talking, spoiler about strategy in the future, possibly. There's a definite strategy to this game where it's real easy sort of like Titanfall, to just run and die, run, die, run in the middle of the shit and die. But then if you just don't be such a bonehead and hang back and rely on teammates, you can like stay alive for a good amount of time. You might not be getting kills like, you know, but you can stay alive long enough to cause some damage and get that the points up to get a hero unit.
Yeah.
So
And it helps your team when you do that.
yeah, if you just hang back and be a team player.
Yeah, running around being cannon fodder ain't helpful.
Yeah,
You
the only way to do
just
it.
have to run faster.
Yeah, you gotta put your head forward and your arms back.
I think you misunderstood. I meant no run at all.
No, I know.
Players can also bring new weapons into the fray, such as new blasters, the E11D, which I think is the normal Stormtrooper blaster.
Let me see.
The DL18, which is that like scoped one, as well as the T21 Heavy and Cycler Rifle. Heroes and Villains skirts the classic trilogy to add playable maps set on the MC-85 Star Cruiser and the Resurgent class Star Destroyer.
So, yeah, I think some of this stuff is already in play because I was playing the other day on what's that really flowery world you saw in episode 3, and it's in the Clone Wars.
Oh, the one where the thing with the big legs comes from.
Yeah. Anyway, so you start on the surface, you're holding these zones, and depending on who wins those zones, you go to their destroyer.
Yeah,
so it
supremacy
could be,
mode. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it could
happened,
be a clone destroyer or a Trade Federation destroyer, and then you have to destroy the ship from the inside out. And then depending on who wins, you have to like get out. And it's really cool. It's really neat, like progressive gameplay. Like 3 or 4 different like stages in one session.
Yeah, it goes back and forth until someone wins. Honestly, I was talking to a buddy about this the other day. Like, you can start on the ground, and then go into the trade ship, and they can repel you, and then beat you on the ground, and then end up in the clone ship, and then you can repel them, and like it goes until someone wins. Which is dope. Yeah. So Battlefront 2, a game that I played for like 4 hours, and was like, not a fan. I now feel more and more pulled to come back to.
It's just to sort of quench your curiosity. It's the same game. It plays exactly like it did before, maybe with some finer tweaks and cosmetics and stuff like that. So the gameplay feel is the same, but there's just so much content now.
Sure.
And lots of people are playing, so matchmaking's fast. So the reason you didn't like it before might still be there.
Sure.
But like I said, I think there should be some emphasis on playing a little different. Sort of like, like I said with Titanfall the other night, we calmed our asses down and started winning and had a good time. But same thing like Call of Duty, right? Especially in hardcore mode, you get the fire in your veins, and you're like, let me hurry up and run back to where I was killed. And you do that 5 or 6 times, you're like, no, slow down, crouch, listen to footsteps. You know, you play differently, and you have a better time. So
100%.
Yep.
Oh boy, see, there is ways to talk about fucking strategy in games. I'm gonna do one sidetrack because I want the last Star Wars thing to be something we talk about a little bit as we go into our bounty section, because it's been on my mind for fucking weeks, or all week. Sorry, but yeah, the sidetrack. We got to see the Batmobile today.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And it is a sex machine.
Molto bene.
It's very good.
Yeah. Tech, what do you think?
You know, I saw it earlier today. Didn't really give it a good look. I'm looking at it now, and I like it. I mean, it looks like a modification that someone would be able to do without having to have too much military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think this is more realistic than
the Tumblr.
You know,
Tumblr. Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so I like it. It doesn't look spectacular. I can see him getting stuck in traffic. But yeah, I mean, I think we need to see it in action in order to actually get the feel of it. That's kind of how all the Batmobiles are. You got to see it do what it does.
I also remember this is supposed to be a year 1, year 2 sort of Batman. So we're not going to have a Batjet and all the high gloss, super sophisticated. It's also supposed to be dated like in the 90s or something. But
yeah.
So we're not going to have all the super high tech gear. his suit looks pretty high tech if you ask me, but it's still supposed to be like a patched together Batman at this stage, an early Batman.
That motor's fucking massive. It's
Yeah.
like half the car
It looks like a muscle car version of
It is,
Michael Keaton's
absolutely.
Batman.
of Michael Keaton's. Sure.
Yeah, it looks like this muscle up version of that.
Hey, I'm excited to see this Batmobile in Rocket League.
One of my yeah, right. One of my automobile blogs. Who the fuck? Blogs. One of the automobile whatevers I follow stated it looks like a twin turbo V8 if they had to guess. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So which means it's probably going to sound like the GT40 if I had to guess.
It says it's a turbine powered car though.
Oh. So it'll sound like an M1 Abrams.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
I mean, in essence, a Batmobile is just a car that needs to get him to point A to point B with some defense and mechanisms and rockets.
You've
Bullshit. But that's it.
lived in New York. That's not how you get around.
No, he's gonna be in traffic. He's gonna be
Right. That's
tunnel stuck.
yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not practical.
I've never thought of that in my life. Never thought about the fact that somehow when Batman's in the Batmobile,
He
people
just
aren't
gets where he needs
around.
to be. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How important is the Batmobile though? Like,
It's
it's a backdrop. It's a prop.
yeah, but it's everyone. There's
that's a
there's
good question.
excitement.
In battle, like does he win fights because he has a Batmobile? Like,
In
That
Batman vs
depends-
Superman, he did.
That depends on where you're coming from.
Not against Superman, but he did against the thugs.
That
He
depends
also
on-
beat a lot.
that was a dope thing.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
also beat a lot of people up in Batman Returns. He's just straight
Yeah.
killing people.
Yeah.
And in the game, Arkham City.
I was gonna say that depends on where you look at it, because in
Yeah.
Arkham Knight, the Batmobile
Yeah.
converts into a tank with riot
Oh, man.
bags
Yeah.
that kill people, but still.
Right, beanbags.
Yeah, it's just a turret. You can like shoot people with it, and they're like, "Oh, I was so hurt." It's like, "No, motherfucker, you dead."
I'm not dead.
If you're not dead now, you will be. Fun fact: there was an actual like clinical physician who watched gameplay of Arkham Knight and was like, that guy's gonna die. He's not dead now, but that kind of brain injury, and he's gonna sit in a dumpster for 12 hours. He's fucking dead." Like, it's very good. Yeah, I guess it depends on the scenario and the movie, because I would argue the Michael Keaton Batman movies didn't use the Batmobile much, but for look, he's going somewhere.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan used it to destroy civilians' cars. That's pretty much what it did.
Well, he was
Yeah.
jumping rooftops in the first one.
He was jumping rooftops in the first one.
Destroying civilians' cars.
And houses.
And houses.
He
And
drives through a couple of like kids' rooms. He had to have.
Well, Sean Murphy addresses this in The White Knight because they have Gotham sets up like a Batman defense fund for all the shit he destroys on
Yeah.
a yearly basis.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. All
And it
right.
backfires.
Yeah. Sure.
No, it's sexy. I want to see it in action.
I want to hear it more than I want to see it.
I do wanna hear
wanna
it.
See it.
Sound design has to be amazing on that.
Gotta
movie.
be. That thing needs to turn on, and it needs to be intimidating.
blah, 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 blah.
It needs to boom. Yeah, exactly. Watch fucking Ford v Ferrari. The sound of that fucking GT40 when it turns on the first time hurts, and I love it,
Yeah.
and it's so good.
That's good.
That movie didn't use any CG for its car filming.
It didn't, and it looks like it, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought I was watching that movie in the theater, and I was like, man, it would have been cool with less CG, and then I found out they used all crane shots, and I'm like, ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's bananas. And speaking of not using CG, have you guys seen how the fucking Mandalorian was made?
Wow, dude, that was a great segue.
You know, I really hate people do that when it isn't a segue.
Thanks,
And
but
they
you just
fucking
ruined
point out.
it. I appreciate it, but
Yeah.
have you guys seen how?
Yes, I have. Yes.
When did you learn of this?
I don't know, a few months ago when the article hit, but I don't want to ruin it for everybody, so go ahead.
So I found out about this at my daughter's birthday. A friend of mine was down here. Family member was down here. It was mostly family. So for friends who weren't invited, sorry. It was mostly family.
Uninteresting.
I get it.
I didn't want Ryan to be upset. That's all it was. We were talking about Star Wars and shit, and Mandalorian came up, and he just dropped this on me. So Mandalorian didn't use any green screens at all in any of its filming. And when he said that, I was like, dog shit.
Do they go to the planets? What do they do?
Right? So what they did was they built fucking 1,500 square foot room and then lined it all the way around with 25-foot tall Hyper HD QLED screens, and then lined the fucking ceiling with them, and only had to build the set on the ground, and then partnered with Epic Games, the guys who make Fortnite, to use Unreal Engine 5 to build a game world around the scene, and project it and use these screens to make the backdrop. So every scene where there's like a long distance, or when he's in the cave, when he's in the like caverns fighting the bounty hunters coming after him once he has the child, or the space station, all that shit is built in a game engine that can be rotated, moved, light sources can be adjusted, characters can be picked up and dropped somewhere else. It's just a fucking game world behind them.
Yeah, he said you can like put the sun over there, so they're like click, drag, sun's over there now. And it changes the whole scene because they're just surrounded by screens.
That's in fucking insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That has to be expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but it only has to be expensive once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you just drop a new actor in there and change the scene. Probably have to change it to walk.
You don't have to fly people to other countries to film this one scene in Ireland, or like they did for like the actual Star Wars
they
movie.
filmed the whole thing at Pinewood Studios in the UK. The whole thing.
With parallax movement, that's insane.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
As the camera moves, like the world behind the camera, because it's in game engine, will like move with it to make sure that it feels like you're actually there, because they just program that into the software. And I also saw a scene where they had a guy standing in stormtrooper armor for like what's the people that build the costumes? I guess costumes. Mm-hmm. The costume maker, because my brain stopped.
Costume designer.
Yes, thank you. When testing things out, would put an actor in a costume for a character. Like the instance I saw was a stormtrooper, and then rather than rendering a whole scene, it renders like a video game where the wall behind them was gray, but you could see the projected square for what the camera could see as it moved around the actor. So you just saw a square of rendered stuff move around as they were rotating around this actor in his costume to get different light and shadow on the costume and make sure it worked out. It's fucking bananas.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's first of its kind, I'm sure.
2020, man.
Like, imagine being able to license this software from ILM and starting shared workspaces like there are for the tech industry and placing them all over we could have one here in St. Louis, and then you could film The Mandalorian in St. Louis. And imagine what that could be if you could rent it out to students and indie film projects and like all this stuff. If you had the people that knew how to use the tools, all they would have to do is build whatever world you need, render it, drop it in, and then
that couldn't have been the whole show though. What about the indoor scenes? Those are all sets.
Most of them are this. Those are the fucking space station that they're in. They used this, and they built a hull of the Starcaster, his ship. They built the back half of it. The front half of it is rendered, and you can't tell.
One line that hops out to me is Favreau talking about how it shortens the post-production process. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of time and resources that are non-existent because they're coming up with what they want beforehand.
Yeah.
So they know what it's going to look like. The final. They don't do renders upon renders upon renders of scenes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
The defining characteristic of this workflow is that most of the creative work is done in pre-production instead of post.
Wow. Yeah, there's a picture of him sitting in the studio with VR headset, like moving the camera around.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you watch some of these videos, the guys that would go in and edit the scene, they put on fucking Oculus and use the hand controllers to pick up and move assets and like change the shading in a spot and like walk around the physical space. and then a director looking through the camera can see the person wearing the VR headset in the shot as rendered by like the things they're wearing.
Just found a YouTube video of it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
me too.
Nice.
That's what I'm doing too.
I'll do it later, but I'll put it
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
gonna
chat.
definitely save that. That's
I'll
crazy.
put it. Nobody's watching Twitch, but there you go.
But like, remember when Ian McKellen had that blow up on the set of The Hobbit where he was like, I can't do this. I can't see anything. It's all green screens. I can't see anyone I'm acting with. I can't see the environment. He got upset because he didn't know how to. Imagine if he'd been able to be on a set where literally everything that's happening he can actually see.
Yeah.
And it's not real in quotation marks, but
It's better than imagining.
yeah, it's better than being like, behind you there's fire and 1,000 people, and you're like, no, there's not.
Yeah. Most of the Avengers and Marvel movies and all the Star Wars prequels 1, 2, and 3 were entirely green screen, basically.
Yeah.
So.
This has to help everyone to make a better like visual experience as well.
Yeah.
Like the on-set, like on-fly things to be more authentic. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible work environment. Just sitting there reading scripts in front of green screens.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds horrible. Just like, all right, get into character.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
Wait,
But if
this is it. Okay.
But it's amazing how they do a great job with the green screens, and that's why they're actors. But I feel like with this, they can be even better actors because there's something to interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm talking
you
shit
can
with
look.
the green screen right behind me.
You can look off into the yeah. You can look off into the distance and actually see the thing your character's looking off into in the distance.
Would that necessarily mean they'd be better actors? It just makes their job easier. It would just make their job easier.
I think if they're gonna, because actors take pride in being actors. Like their purpose is to deliver this performance. This will only enhance that performance. No way they're gonna start getting lazy because everything looks better. Like just imagine being on set and seeing that. It's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, and they can focus more on their performance than they have to focus on imagining what's behind them.
It's gonna fuck
Yeah,
around in the moment. It's gonna put them in that moment.
Yeah.
For real.
You know what though?
Instead of being like, this is what's gonna happen, just trust us, we're gonna make it look good. It's just like, oh,
It's
this
like
shit looks
react to
fucking great.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
react to this. They were
Like,
talking
there could
about
be, yeah, just have like an explosion go off with like noise that without you knowing it, but you see it. It's like, oh shit! Like, okay.
Well, imagine those
Like-
scenes from like Saving Private Ryan where someone's shell shocked and they're getting up and dazed, looking around, and there's not explosions and planes flying and people blowing up next to them. It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all on a green screen. Now you could put a guy in the middle of a room and go, "You just got bombed," and then hit play on just fucking mayhem, and they'd actually be like, "Oh fuck!" Like trying to like figure out what's going on. Like, ugh.
Yeah. Imagine Edge of Tomorrow with this. Tom Cruise's performance was dope, but he'd be insane with this.
Yeah.
If he can truly react like that.
It does kind of suck that there's like probably going to be a huge hit. Like say this takes over, all the people that build sets. Like this is probably cutting out some jobs. It's got to be.
Yeah, in a way, I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're also always going to have purists like Christopher Nolan who still shoots on 75 millimeter
Right. Yeah.
film and refuses
Yeah, they want to build
leave
their
it.
sets and stuff.
Yeah.
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 So
But then you got jobs for game designers that can come in here and make these digital worlds instead.
Right.
So you're just replacing jobs, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, our country was 97% farmers once. Now it's 2%, and we figured it out. So,
Right.
yeah, it's fucking bananas. I didn't mean to say that to make light of anybody losing their job because of this technology. I hope I didn't sound like that. Also, there's a chance that because this is ILM, no one else will get to use it but Disney. And someone else will build a similar
yeah,
technology.
they're gonna definitely copy this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's someone somewhere right now. They're making this
Yeah.
set.
I'm sure someone's like, oh shit, we have Crytek engine. Let's use that. Fuck, Amazon owns the Crytek engine. There you go. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about that at length because it fucked me. It continues to fuck me up when I think about it. Like, fuck, dude.
You know what fucks me up?
Right? Right? There was a scene where they were talking about filming. Remember when he had to wait at night for that target he was going after out in the desert? That captive, the chick in the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Michelle Yeoh.
They were like, we got to film 10 hours of Sunset in 30 minutes. Because we could like,
That's-
all right, sun here. All right, sun here. All right, sun here. And if you missed a scene, if you missed a take and didn't nail it, you didn't have to
Rewind.
wait until tomorrow because the sun was in a different spot. You could just
Yeah.
put it back and go, okay, go. Fucking bananas. La La Land was filmed in 15-minute spurts at sunset in LA to get the specific, like a couple scenes in La La Land, not all of it. But in
Yeah.
15-minute spurts, over like 3 or 4 weeks for a musical number because it had to be during the sunset because of the colors that happened in the LA skyline. And like Damien Chazelle and Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone talked about that process being annoying because they'd miss a take by like a second, but it was a musical number, so they were like 10 minutes in and they couldn't start it over. They had to do it tomorrow. And that's all gone.
Yeah.
Bananas.
I'm pretty sure movies like La La Land will not take this technology.
Exactly. No, yeah.
So,
Revenant,
it's
La
gonna-
La Land, they're gonna
be fucked.
they're gonna be
Doing that.
yeah.
whole thing.
They're gonna be the purists that are like, no, it has to be real.
See you tomorrow.
I see you tomorrow. And they're like, but no. That's it for news, really. Things I wanted to talk about that are on an agenda. It's our bounty episode for the month, so I figured we could talk at length about what we've all been playing. I know Tech's been elbow deep in some Apex Season 4.
Yeah.
I know Ryan and I have been pretty deep on A Rocket League and B Call of Duty. And Ben and I have been diving back into Titanfall. So there's a lot of stuff we've been kind
That's
of
been nice.
canoodling with. Yeah, and Tech's been playing with Titanfall a little bit. Oh, you know what, Tech? I want you to tell me what you think about Titanfall 2, because you didn't play it until recently, right?
I did play until recently, and
And you've put how many hours into Apex?
I'm almost at 1,000 hours in the Apex.
Okay, so given those two things, just came to Titanfall, 1,000 hours into Apex. What does it feel like going to what Titanfall came from?
It feels
What
like
Apex came from?
it feels very natural to me because it's the basis of Apex, and I didn't know that. Like I forgotten because I didn't play Titanfall since the first one when it first came out. It feels really natural. It feels really fun. It feels just like Apex, except sometimes a little bit better because you have these abilities that the Apex Legends don't have. Like everyone's a Pathfinder. Everyone can wall climb.
Sure, yeah.
You can do
Right.
the double jump and the jetpack. The guns is the most fun part for me because it's literally the same guns. The alternators in
Yeah.
there, Spitfires in there. Like I know how these guns feel. I know how they work. I pretty much know the recoil. It's fun seeing the R201.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, seeing like the precursor to the R301. I remember noticing that the other day. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, this isn't the R301. It's like a gaunter version. Interesting.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. It gives me I think my love for Apex has given me a lot of respect for Titanfall.
Sure. What do you think about the Titans?
That's fun. I mean, it's definitely fun. I don't see how they could ever incorporate that into Apex
Yeah.
Legends.
Me either.
No.
It's still very fun.
Yeah. I remember when Apex came out, I was watching like the dev stream when it was announced that first day, as probably most of us were. I remember them saying no Titans, no wall running, and being like, I'm not gonna like this, and then playing Apex like crazy for a year, and then making the jump back to Titanfall and being like, oh, these have very separate, very unique spaces.
Mhm.
And I appreciate Apex has left those things out. I remember thinking I was appreciative that Apex left Titans and wall running out way faster than a whole year. But going back to Titanfall, it's like, oh yeah, this works better in this mode. And I would not. I still think we need a hero to show up, a legend to show up in Apex that's an old pilot and whose abilities are wall running and something else. But like, I want to be able to wall run in that game again. Just
Yeah, or jetpack would be dope too.
yeah,
The double
The
jump.
ability to fly a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I love the progression from Titanfall 2 to Apex Legends. It makes sense the way they did it. I love the storyline with the Outer Worlds.
Have you played the campaign to Titanfall 2 yet?
Not yet.
Oof.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, it's super good.
there's a mission in there that I want to give you hints about, but I can't. because it's that fucking good. And when it happened, I was like, "What? This in a shooter?" And then you get to play around with it, and it's like, "Oh no, this fucking works. This fucking works."
Yeah.
It's dope. I'm still super hopeful we get a Titanfall 3 because I want
I feel pretty certain it's
the
going to happen.
Titanfall 2 formula to continue to develop. And it developed well into Apex, and I think that Apex could be a more broad multiplayer offering, honestly. Team Deathmatch would be fun. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think it's going to happen because, like, I just feel like from what they've said over the years about the developments, the things they're working on, they never said it's done and gone. They never said we're never going to make a Titanfall ever again.
Well, I think it's going to happen because of their love of Titanfall. Like, this whole universe is based on Titanfall.
Right.
Now they have a lot more money than they would have had with a regular Titanfall 3. Like, if it was no Apex Legends, it was Titanfall 2 and then Titanfall 3. But now they have a budget that's way bigger than it would have been
Sure.
had they not made Apex Legends.
Yep.
And clearly, I mean, even with the Hammond Robotics being added in the season 4.
Oh fuck, that's a good point.
Yeah, like they're tying it in, and it's purposeful at this point. So I think they're going to go back to it, especially with how much power they have now and how much fans they have now. Like, they can do a Titanfall 3 and probably make way more money than they did with Titanfall 2.
100%.
Do you know when Apex is in the timeline?
It's like 30 or 40 years after Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the big.
Bangalore's a pilot.
Yeah, Bangalore's an ex-pilot.
Awesome.
I don't know if anyone remembers this, but when you first launched Apex Legends,
The general.
it's a guy walking you into a bar and talking about the games. The guy that walks you into the bar is Kuben Blisk, who's one of the main characters of Titanfall 1 and 2. He's one of the leaders of the Rebels, not the IMC, but the other guys.
Yeah.
Or no, he's one of the leaders of the IMC. And it's kind of indicative of the time it came out because we had like Elysium and District 9, which like projected this South African badass as like a leader of a mercenary group in both movies, separate guys. And Kuben Blisk is that. He's a big, burly South African guy that is ruthless and fucks people up. But anyway, yeah, Kuben is the guy that introduces you to the Apex Legends tournament. And he's got white hair. He's like older. He's much older. So there's still room in between the Apex. Oh my God. There's so much room in between the games and the end of the war or the end of 2, where the war ended in between them in this space, that we could get a Titanfall 3 that has Bangalore in it before while she's still a pilot. I don't know if there's any other soldiers that would have interacted with each other before that, but like I would love
Gibraltar's family during the wartime was like trying to help people.
Yeah.
Like it's literally all tied in. Like all the main original characters are tied in, and obviously they're doing that with Revenant, where they're going back in the past, and so it's all tied in. They're gonna have to use it eventually.
Yeah, and in Titanfall 2, I don't know if you've noticed, there are other simulacrum like Revenant. When you get to pick your faction, there's a couple factions that are led by simulacrum that are like people that have moved their minds into.
Yeah.
But one of them is Vincent Technologies, and another one's a different company. But Hammond doesn't have any simulacrum in there. But that's also
Pathfinder's a Marvin, and trying to find his master.
Yep. Yeah, he's a Marvin. He's a Spectre, which.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, the little specters that drop down and like fuck shit up. That's Pathfinder.
Well, there's a Marvin faction too. The last one.
Yes, and don't you interact with a Marvin in the campaign?
I don't remember. It's been too long.
I might be thinking of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the space one where you had an AI companion who was very much fucking Pathfinder, but I feel like that was a rip, so maybe Respawn had it first. Yeah, so speaking of Battle Royale games, Ryan and I have been playing a shit ton of Call of Duty, and we'll come back to Season 4 specific stuff tech. That's my bad. I didn't think about that. But Ryan and I...
we gotta talk about.
Yeah, sure. Ryan and I have been playing a shit ton of Call of Duty, and part of the Season 2 trailer for Call of Duty very clearly shows the introduction of Call of Duty's Battle Royale. And now the menu has a black bar in the center that says classified.
Nice.
So that's gotta launch sometime soon. The season started a week and a half ago and it ends in 33 days, so you'd imagine that around day 25 it would do it, but I have no idea for sure.
So when do you think that would be?
Another week.
Okay.
Next week sometime, middle of March. Ryan, do you want to play a Call of Duty Battle Royale?
I mean, I played Black Ops 4 Battle Royale, and it was okay.
Right.
I mean, Apex dropped after Call of Duty's, so I mean, I kind of moved over to that one, over to Apex instead. But I played it, and it was all right. But I think the modern warfare aspect of it is going to be so much better than the Black Ops, because like there was armor that you could piece together, and like it was really weird on the Black Ops one. But I think that game kind of failed on its own anyway, Black Ops itself. So it carried over into that Battle Royale itself. So I don't know, seeing a very modern one is going to be, I think it's going to be super good. But like I'm hoping that these maps have a lot of close quarter combat. I want to see cities that are actually, or like, I mean, maybe not cities, but like these towns that are towns that have buildings that or houses that are like our houses, 10 feet away, 15 feet away, that you can have 10 squads within the 2-block radius.
So what you're trying to say is you want to finally get Escape from Tarkov on systems.
Yeah.
You want super close.
I want freaking firefights out the wazoo. I want to be like, oh yeah, we're getting third party. I want to get sixth partied. Like I want that to happen.
Yeah, sure.
Why do you want that?
I get it.
Ever, dude.
Third party sucks, but when the sixth party shows up, dude, everybody's like losing their mind. Like in the third party, the two parties that are fighting are like, why are we fighting each other? Let's get this guy, and then they go and kill that guy, like the new group, instead of continuing to fight. But if there's 6 groups fighting at one time, man, I feel like that would be so much better. But they better not put RPGs in it.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that.
My freaking mind.
Fuck that. Yes, I agree 100%. I know we talk about Battle Royales a lot on this podcast. We should just call it Bounty Royale from now on. But how dope would it be to get a melee Battle Royale that's the raid? You just get a tower full of 100 people, and y'all have to fight hand to hand and survive.
Shit, that'd be great. What if that was
a game royale?
That could be a game mode in Call of Duty. Just
the Tower of Destruction, and you just 100 people spread out across 100 floors. Go. That's it. Just fucking
100 floors.
You just described the most camping game I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah, they're all just gonna stay on their own floor.
The most annoying camp
No,
game.
what if the zone changed per floor?
No, it's on fire from the bottom, and the fire goes up to the top floor.
Oh, that's great.
And you have to move up to the top.
So all 100 need to start on the bottom floor, and then they have to all run to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah. Because the
Everybody
guy at top
all
would
on
just be
floor.
like,
Suck it, nerds!
Yeah.
There's a way to do that. That'd be dope. A constant climbing, fighting, firefight, stairwell game would be dope.
Yep.
But walking into an apartment and some dudes hiding in behind the door would suck.
Yeah, for sure.
PUBG.
That's PUBG.
It'd be PUBG. Jesus Christ. Dude.
The number of times I would run into a house and be like, I'm safe, and then get sniped and just like, what else am I gonna play tonight?
How is that even fun? How is that even fun?
We fucked with it for so long, though.
It's all we had. It was either that or Fortnite.
It's all we had. And we're adults, so we're not playing Fortnite.
Did anybody in this group? Did you say? What'd you say?
We're adults, so we're not playing.
Adults.
You got a unicorn backpack and you're building a wall when you get shot at. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't appreciate getting in a fight and then fucking the person turning into a 12-story building. Like, nah, I don't need that.
Immediately.
Yeah.
When they brought the freaking grenade that you throw on the ground that actually builds a building for you, it was really stupid.
Yeah, it's the build a fort.
Yeah, build a fort. You just throw it down and put you in this big fort. Like, oh, okay, like that wasn't hard to do before.
You gotta make it
Like,
easier.
Yeah, they had to make it easier for the adults that couldn't keep up with the.
yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't fuck with that battle royale hardly at all. I played a few rounds with my brother.
I tried.
I
Watch-
tried to.
Watched him
tried.
carry me.
We brought mom in there too. We all tried. We were all trying to do something different from PUBG.
PUBG was so stressful.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody in a random chat, and I was like, a weight lifted off my shoulders when I stopped playing PUBG.
Yeah,
I felt mentally better.
my hypertension
45
went away.
minutes of looting just to die is
Right.
like the worst.
My
I know what
hypertension went away. My
you-
blood pressure dropped.
My hypertension, yeah, my hypertension. I'm a healthier person now.
I'm a better father.
Hey man, calm down about that. No, that's true though. So Tech, back to you. Apex Season 4. I'm a bad person and haven't gotten into it yet. I need to. What is the
You won't.
System override. It's a 2-week event. They always have like a bunch of stuff that you can buy
Yeah.
that they want you to buy. It usually costs about 150 for all of it, which is way too much, but whatever. And the game mode is simple. Every 24 hours the zones is the same, and all of the loot is the same for 24 hours. Which makes it an interesting game as far as like where the circle's going, what worked last time, that if you go here you get this loot. But I think that the star of the show is the Evo Shield, which is an evolving shield. You pick it up, it's white with 125 tick. You do a certain amount of damage, it levels up to the 225, so 50, and it keeps going up till past gold. So you
Yeah,
get
it
all
turns
the
like
way up.
red, right?
Yeah, you get all the way up to red. There's a problem with it though, because as soon as, like, say you're fighting someone and you do level up, your whole screen changes color to the new color. So it's kind of like too much of a muzzle flash. That's the only kind of downside of it right now. But it's pretty fun, and it's something that they may add to the game permanently, which would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
But it's only for good players. You have to be a good player. You have to be a good, confident player to pick it up. Because you can still get a gold, but for a purple,
Yeah, but like if you pick this one up, you have to get kills for it to be better than the gold one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. But it's fun mode.
How's Revenant?
I don't like Revenant.
And why not?
I don't find him useful. Tonight we won 3 in a row. I think one of the last win was a reverse of Revenant, and he pops out. So his ultimate is Death Totem. He hits the Death Totem. Everyone on the team can hit it, and he basically respawns if he gets killed, but he respawns with 1 HP. I mean that's easy to stop. Like so wherever the Death Totem is, he'll transport back to the Death Totem, and then he has 1 HP. So either he heals up or he gets back in the fight. If he gets back in the fight, I'm just gonna throw a couple bullets at him. He's done.
Right.
So you have to put it in a place where no one knows where it is,
Yeah.
and then spring a surprise attack, and do enough damage that they're not going to chase you.
Yeah.
Because if you just use it, attack, and then they can see it, they're gonna.
But imagine that final circle. It's the easiest thing in the world to beat.
Yeah.
It's easy. And
Is
his
it?
path,
Me and Caleb thought it was going to be the opposite. When we were talking about it last time, we were like, oh, okay, so you're going to use this thing, and then you're going to go and like be able to see where people are with a lot less health, and then you'll die with that little bit of health and at least be able to come back with full health. And this is absolutely false. That sucks so much.
and as soon as you're in the Death Totem mode, you can't re-heal. You can't heal your shields up. So whatever damage you had on your shields before, you'll have coming out of it. And his passive is trash as well. He throws his fireball at you, and you can't use your abilities for however many seconds. But my guns would kill you, not my abilities. So
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we won the other night, and I didn't use any of his abilities at all. He just,
he's not useful.
we won the match, and I was just a gunman.
Yeah.
That's all there was to it.
Now, one of his passives is the wall climb. He can wall climb further, and he
I
can
love
run
that.
faster, and
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah, you can climb like 20 feet.
Yeah, you can climb a lot further than every other legend. That's pretty good. But
Yeah.
besides that, he's cool. But I just haven't found a groove with him, and I can pretty much win with anyone.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the trick is like, and obviously this is me armchair quarterbacking, but it seems like the trick would be to climb to some place people can't get. Use your death totem. do some damage and then pop back where they can't hit you.
That's true, but there's not a place that he can't go that a Pathfinder can't go, for one. And for two, there's not too many places, especially with Final Circle, where you need it, that, like, that's going to have that opportunity, that have that super high ground that no one else can get to.
Sure. Interesting.
Plus, if you're in Final Circle, or any circle, and I see you climbing a 20-foot building, I'm going to shoot you.
Right.
True.
It's not fast.
It's not fast at all.
How far can you go from the totem?
Not too far. There's a certain distance you can only go.
There's a fucking range?
There's a range to it, yeah.
Ah.
Makes it even more worthless.
Yeah, because not only are you wounded when you get back, everyone you attacked knows you're coming back close.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, if there wasn't a range and you had circle, you could be like, oh, I hear fighting over there. Let me just put this here in the middle of the circle. Let me run over there and do some damage at some range. Let me die, and then I'll come back and heal. Like, no, that would be way too overpowered.
Yeah.
The last time I totemed, I did it in front of somebody. So when I died and came back, my totem was surrounded by gas bags.
Oh, no! That guy is an asshole, and I love it. They were just like, oh.
Oh, that's great.
Boink. That's funny. Well, what else have you? What else have we all been playing? I mean, we talked about Titanfall for a little bit.
I
Ben
played the Final Fantasy VII demo tonight.
How much did you cry?
Just a little.
In your pants, or?
Cried in my pants.
I caught tech. That's all that matters.
I made my pee-pee cry. No, so in the title sequence was fucking marvelous. Yeah. And the soundtrack was all remastered and re-recorded, and yeah, it was really, really, really cool. It's very Japanese, so there's a lot of like just strange body language and voice work, and anytime anybody does anything like looks at somebody or starts running or emotes in any way, it's like it's like all these weird like it's louder than everything else, louder than footsteps, and yeah, it's strange. Sounds like Speed Racer, so that's whatever. But I think I heard who's the pothead from Silicon Valley? I thought I heard his voice in there.
Oh, TJ Miller?
I thought I heard his voice as Wedge.
Oh, dope. All right. That's dope.
If it's not, it sounds just like him.
Oh, there's a scene in Silicon Valley where someone says something stupid and he's laughing at them, but he starts laughing at them while he's toking. So he's just coughing, and he coughs for like 30 seconds while getting like a word out every break he gets. And I
don't think it's him. It just sounds exactly like him. Anyway, so it's, I don't know if you remember Final Fantasy real well, Caleb, but it's, you blow up the first reactor and you fight the spider robot, and the gameplay ends. So it's really short.
Spoiler, Jesus.
I remember that.
So it's like an hour tops. But you get a feel for the combat and how the cutscenes translate and stuff like that. It's great, man. I think I'm gonna buy it. It comes out in April. So when you ask me in a few minutes what our favorite games are or what our game picks are for next month, that's gonna be mine. Yeah. So it's cool, man. It's definitely a large chunk of my childhood. That came out when I was 16 or something like that. Was that 96, 98?
I have a cat penis.
Okay, 97, something like that.
Sorry.
I do not have a cat penis, but so it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see something that we never thought would actually happen.
Sure.
Because they teased us with remakes for like a decade.
Yeah, it was a minute.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was very good. So.
Dope. I'm apprehensive. I'm not super happy that like we got all this hype about this coming, and then they gave us a portion of the game. We're like, aren't you happy? And it's still $60. Ugh.
But I think what they did though is they took 10 hours of the game and made a 30-hour game out of it.
Most of the time someone describes something like that to me, I've already checked out. That sounds like you filled it with a bunch of fluff and stuff. I don't want that. Right? No, I
don't
get
know,
that.
maybe
I'm sure they
maybe
didn't
that's not
do
true.
that.
Maybe
But-
that's not true.
But if someone's like, "Yo, remember that 2-hour movie you watched? You should watch the 4-hour director's cut." I'm most of the time like,
All right, but think of it this way: as our conversations lately about price and games, and should games be $60 anymore?
sure.
Should a 300-hour Final Fantasy game still be $60?
No, probably not. No.
Okay, so if we have to pay for 30 hours in $60 chunks, right?
$600 for the same game.
I mean, if it takes place over what, 5 years? You know,
$600 for Final Fantasy. You're willing to pay that for Final Fantasy 7?
I don't think it'll be that long because they're not going to do all the grinding. Final Fantasy, I beat Final Fantasy in 50 hours, but I went straight through it and I didn't grind very much. But, it's going to be a lot of money probably. It won't be 600, but and they're
I
gonna
was
cut some
just
stuff out.
taking your
Yeah, you're extrapolating, but like they're gonna cut some stuff out that's not necessary. But we're gonna have the casino, we're gonna have Nibelheim, we're gonna have the airship, we're gonna have, the crucial stuff.
Yes.
Red 13's home,
Yes.
Yuffie's home.
Are we gonna be able to fly around Sid's fucking airship?
Yeah, you have to. You have to. It's a staple of the game. But that game had a submarine level.
It had a tower defense level.
Yep, it had, and then it had like all those summons. So the summons have to happen. It had chocobo raising,
Oh, the
chocobo
casino?
racing,
The casino up in the
and
north.
racing and raising. So you could like have a ranch and find different eggs and raise chocobos. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think what they did, remaking Midgard, the first chapter, is probably their easiest accomplishment. Right? Because it's such a linear thing.
Sure.
You bomb a factory and you make your way out, and then the world opens up. So I don't know what they're going to do after the world opens up. So we should probably talk about something else. The other guys look like they're about to
Yeah.
fall into a coma.
Yeah, so not in this conversation, dude.
All right, we're going to talk about Apex. I'll be right back.
I'm sorry, man. I've
Ah,
literally never played a Final Fantasy game. You guys still talking about Final Fantasy?
we were, but not anymore. Did you check out that much?
No, I've never played, and
I haven't either.
It's never held interest to me, and it's not like it's just not my jam.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not for me. So I respect it though.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
know it's good.
This game will not change your mind.
They've always made beautiful games. Like,
Oh my god,
games are beautiful.
it's so pretty.
I get it. Not for me.
This game won't change your mind, but
Yeah.
the game looks like the cutscenes. I know we've been saying that for probably a long time now.
Yeah. Sure.
Uncharted looked just almost as good as the cutscenes. Same with Last of Us, but I mean this game is fucking gorgeous.
That's
It's
awesome.
really cool too to see because so in the old days, I remember like Resident Evil, the backgrounds were static
Yeah.
and your character was walking around.
Yeah.
That's the way Final Fantasy was. So it was 3D, but it was static. This took those scenes and made it fully 3D.
Yeah.
So you're seeing something you saw when you were a kid, but now it's like you're not in VR, but it's the next best thing. So you're seeing something that's very familiar to you, but now it's all lit and polygonal
See-
and navigable, and yeah, it was quite an experience to finally see this.
So
You talking about Warframe?
I have a question for y'all because this is something that occurred to me recently. I haven't been able to get into a lot of remasters. Sorry, not remakes because they're different. As much because my brain's playing tricks on me. Like the Halo anniversary, when Halo Combat Evolved anniversary came out, I remember playing it and being like, "Damn, this game's fun," and then hitting the back button and being like, "Oh, it didn't look like this." Not like, "Damn, this game looks so much better than it used to," and then going back and being like, "Yeah, it looked like that." It was weird because when I was a kid playing this game 20 years ago, it looked as good as it looks to me when it was remastered.
Yeah.
And so playing it remastered, I'm like, yeah, it always looked like this. And then you go back and go, oh, damn, it didn't. And so I wonder if Final Fantasy will have the same impact on me, because when I played it the first time, I was like 10,
Yeah.
maybe even younger. And so to me, that I may have imagined it being as
I can
vibrant
tell
as
you
it
the
is now.
cutscenes will feel because the cutscenes in the first one are pretty good too. A little goofy, but the backgrounds are great. The in-game characters are those funny, like really super heavy polygon
Blocky, yeah,
chibi
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Except when you're fighting, then the proportions are normal. It's very strange. So I think it's going to feel real familiar, but uh, I don't. I know the sensation you're explaining with Halo, and I didn't feel that.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah.
interesting. Do you guys have any remakes or remasters that you played that you loved that reminded that like were reminiscent or not reminiscent, nostalgic, to the point of like loving it for the nostalgia?
Well, I mean, what kind of remakes have we had?
That's a good point. Okay, better question. What game from your childhood do you want remade that hasn't been?
Yeah, nice. I would like.
Ryan, don't say Halo because they've remade all those.
I would like a Republic Commando.
Oh, really?
What? No.
I want a Republic Commando remaster and an entire Soul Reaver Legacy remaster.
Sure, you talk about Soul Reaver all the time.
I do.
You're like at Amy Hennig like once every
I
3
actually
months.
hit her up. Yeah, I was like, "Come respond to me."
Or were you Tech? You made a reaction that makes me
I
feel
did
like you
make a
found
reaction
one.
when I realized mine. Like this game changed my life, and it birthed my first-person shooter love. And they've
Okay.
been talking about remastering it, and it looks really good remastered. Golden,
Oh, yeah.
Goldeneye.
Yep.
I would love to like that. I mean, I literally bonded with people I'm still friends with to this day over that game. We played it for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, that'd be great. There's a couple fan projects out there, Tech, that are
I know
trying.
that's what I was referring to.
Right.
Like they look great. Like all the like the ones I saw look really good.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a fun thing to remake, and I would definitely play it.
Can you
Well,
imagine?
Rare's got the money now. They could do it.
Yeah. Can you imagine that game with like regular shooter controls? Because you go back to it now and play it on N64, you're like, how the fuck did I play
Yeah.
this?
Oh yeah, I tried that like a few weeks ago. I was like, dude, I played it for 5 minutes. I was like, my eyes can't take this. Like,
Yeah.
it's not,
We
it's
played
not good.
we played at Star Bar when it first opened up,
Yep.
and I was like, "This is trash.
Yep.
Why'd I sacrifice so much? So many.
It looked so good. It looked like Call of Duty back then.
Yeah, it felt so good back then, dude. It's
Yep.
so bad now. Really bad.
How did we play a shooter without a second stick? We used the D-pad to aim? What?
We use the
The C buttons.
the C buttons. Yep. Or,
Trash.
or we aimed with the left and walked with the right.
No, that's not a thing.
Okay. Remember Zelda was remastered. The Link to the Past was just remastered on on Switch.
Yeah, that was a Game Boy game, and they didn't really.
It was a Super Nintendo game, and now it looks like it was made out of toys. It's really cool.
Oh, not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening.
Okay. Which was a Game Boy game.
That was a Game Boy game.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it looks like that tilt shift that
Yeah.
the Sherlock show made so popular with its opening credits.
Looks like they remade a Tomb Raider game, the first Tomb Raider game. That's kind of cool.
I mean, let's fucking go. Just remake all of it. Remake my.
I want
remake
a
my-
remake of Donkey Kong 64.
Nice.
I enjoyed that game a lot.
Yeah, that game was dope. Did that game
They
have
remade a game
multiplayer?
that came out in the same era. Ryan, did you ever play Conker's Bad Fur Day? It plays
Yes.
yeah, it's about this
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, I played the
Right.
demos a lot. I never had the actual game, but I had like the demo discs and stuff that had it.
They remade it on Xbox. The
Yeah.
first Xbox. It was great. Caleb, they remade Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Did you play those? The remasters?
Yeah. I'm playing Crash Bandicoot. Amanda and I've played through all but the third Crash Bandicoot.
Did you have that cognitive disconnect with that remaster? Like you did with Halo?
It felt like Crash Bandicoot to me. Yeah.
Okay.
It looked better.
But-
I did notice it looked better, but I've also played Crash Bandicoot consistently growing up. And the Halo games I moved upward with, I didn't stick with one because they kept making them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Crash Bandicoot did look better, but it was because I was more connected. It was something I went back to
Right.
every year or so. which is interesting, and now makes me think that makes me adjust my statement a little bit, or my theory a little bit. I think if you consistently react with or interact with something that you love, and then get to see it updated, it would make a huge impact because you've been playing a thing for 10 years on and off.
They remastered Shadow of the Colossus. I never got to play that, sadly. But it's free on PSN right now.
You know what sucks? I didn't want to play the remaster.
Oh, I definitely do. It looks amazing.
I didn't want to play the remaster because I know it will never hit me the way that it did the first time.
No, it won't. But,
and like that's enough.
What are you talking about? All the Resident Evils are being remade right now, right? 1, 2, and they're about to release 3.
Yeah, but Shadow of the Colossus.
They already released the 4th one, though, didn't they?
No,
did they start with that one? That was the best one to do. That was the best one that was out a while back.
They remastered.
Like on the GameCube.
They remastered.
4 was the best one for a long time.
They remastered 2 last year.
Yeah,
that's okay.
And then 3's coming out this April.
Mm-hmm. And those have had great success.
Yeah, but see, Shadow of the Colossus is the game itself is built upon what you're doing, and once you know why and what you're actually accomplishing, that part of the game won't ever hit again the way that it did. And that was a very large part of my love for that game. I loved doing the fighting and the killing of the Colossi, but like the reason I talked about that game was because of what I realized I was doing at the end.
Right.
And so like I don't know if I could enjoy playing that game again knowing what I'm actually doing.
Maybe I've played it multiple times. I like it just as much.
Yeah.
And I feel it feels it's different because it's a 10-year-old game. We talk about it. So guys, you kill these giant monsters and it feels like you're hunting them down and killing them, and because they're not really attacking you. And then you go on and find out that you're doing it because there's an ancient demon that's locked into these 16 monsters. So each one is like a key. So after you destroy all 16, the monster comes out and kills everybody. So you find that out afterwards that you weren't. I don't know.
You think you're killing monsters.
Yeah.
And you're actually killing docile creatures that are a part of the environment and should be preserved. Yeah. And then at the very end, it all bites you in the fucking face.
Yeah. And then your horse dies. And then your horse comes back.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, but I played it multiple times. It's great every time. I would definitely do it again remastered just because it's such a beautiful game.
Sure.
But, yeah.
I don't know what I would want from my childhood to be remastered. I've already gotten Halo. And Crash Bandicoot was a huge foundational aspect of me and Amanda's relationship. And that, honestly, just kidding. The bigger one than Crash, the trilogy, was Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, and that happened too, right?
Amanda and I played CTR like crazy, and when that got remastered, we have 100%ed it. We've played every single race and gotten every time trial and gotten every gem and gotten every we 100%ed it because that game's our shit.
That's nice.
But I don't know. I can't think of anything that hasn't come out that I want to.
I had this wild memory of playing Twisted Metal, and I didn't know that they did a new one in 2012. So I'm looking at it on my other screen now. I would like a 2020 Twisted Metal.
A lot of people would.
Like, it was a really fun game. Maybe because I was younger and I don't know why, but I really enjoyed playing.
Hey, we got a raid, by the way, boys.
Hey, we just got raided by a video game bang with a party of 11.
Nice.
What's up,
everybody? What's going on, guys?
We're talking about
video game remakes.
Yeah, we're talking about the games from our childhood we want to see remade. Yeah. We had David Jaffe, the creator of Twisted Metal, on the podcast earlier this year. Last year.
Yeah, last year.
And he did mention that getting another Twisted Metal was something he gets asked about all the fucking time.
I bet, man. It was a fun game, dude. We played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, the game was dope. I would want.
I want a battle royale. I want a battle royale Twisted Metal.
He also said he gets that a lot. Yeah. What's the? I want Wipeout. I want a new Wipeout game.
That wouldn't be bad.
Badly. I want like a 4K, 60 frames per second, Forza visual quality Wipeout. That just fucking.
The package that came out a few years ago. It's kind of a remaster, is pretty great. It's all updated with new sound. Yeah, it's awesome.
My camera's backwards. I fucking hate it. I wish there was.
No, it's not. It's backwards to you,
It's
not
backwards
to
to me and on the stream. I wish there was a way to like not have it backwards. That's super
us.
annoying.
Ego Brain says there was a game like Twisted Metal BR on Steam.
Gotta
Check
find
it out.
it. They
And
added
then they added
VR.
VR. Oh my god, that'd
Wait.
be awesome.
Hold on, VR to that or VR to Wipeout?
Yeah, they did VR Wipeout too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an old PC game called Carmageddon. Okay, he was talking about to Wipeout. There's an old PC game called Carmageddon where you had like saw blades all over your car and you just run over pedestrians. It was really bloody, but it was a car combat game.
What?
Yeah, it was awful. It was really gory. I think it was banned in Australia or something like that. But it was. I loved it. It was hilarious. And
Explains so
but
much.
it was car combat, but there just happened to be people everywhere, and that'd be really fun to bring back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
fuck.
do that. in GTA.
Oh fuck! I know what I want remade. Fucking Rocket Jockey, and no one here's gonna know what that is but
I don't
Ben.
know what that is though.
I don't give a shit. Rocket Jockey was the shit. It
You
was
can find some videos on YouTube, but it's pretty obscure.
so Rocket Jockey. You fly around on basically speeders from Star Wars or swoops.
It's kind of a rocket. It's just a rocket, really.
Yeah, but they had
Like it's even like a tube.
yeah. But so there were several modes. One of them was like Rocket League, where you were like trying to get a ball into a goal. The others were like elimination. But the whole trick mechanic to it wasn't that you hit things to make them go places. You had grappling hooks you could shoot off the left and right side of your rocket speeder you're flying, and hook it to, like, if you were playing soccer, you'd hook it to the ball and fling the ball. Or if you aimed it right, you could hook it to the pilot, another pilot, and pull them off their rocket. Or you could hook up to posts and
This looks
spin it.
terrible.
It was a game from like the 90s, homie. You could hook it to posts and zip around and
Oh, somebody's
clothesline
remaking
people. What?
Somebody's remaking it.
Dog shit. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Or you can play Rocket League's game mode where you can grapple the ball and punch the other cars and
Dude, taking someone off of their rocket by clotheslining them was so good.
Yeah, it was.
It
Great.
was so
It
good.
Was fun. And then
Um,
dragging him behind you on a tether.
And you could drag them. I forgot about that shit. That's just
And the
good.
soundtrack was by legendary guitarist Dick Dale, who is classically known as doing the soundtrack for the Pulp Fiction theme song. So he did the entire theme song for the whole game. You know the theme. You know the Pulp Fiction song. Remember that?
Isn't that
It's
Wipeout?
what I just did sound. No, that's not Wipeout.
Not Wipeout.
It does sound like Jet Moto, but you could lasso people. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. It's Jet Moto
Hello,
without the
you get
racing.
your wish.
It's 100% Jet Moto without the racing.
Yeah, Jet Moto was great too.
I think you get your wish, Caleb.
Yeah, it's
Burnboard,
remade.
Burnboard Games. Rocket
Rocket
Jockey.
Jockey.
Yeah,
Oh, what a cool cover image.
that's pretty cool. That cover image.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I just watched the trailer. It's awesome.
It's
There you go.
coming. It's happening. Oh my god. The other one is one that Ben is gonna hate because I bring it up all the fucking time. But fucking 13, which was a really, really good fucking game.
I think you talk about it in every single podcast.
Huh?
I think you talk about 13 every single podcast.
as much as he talks about Warframe.
I haven't brought that game up in a long time. Fuck all y'all.
It's been months.
13 was fucking solid, dude. And
Are you sure? Does it hold up?
yes, it does hold up, and it was critically well received then. So, like, I wasn't one of the weird ones. It was good, and people liked it, and it left on a cliffhanger. And I played that game probably 7 or 8 times through. Ubisoft,
Not
why do
13
you
times?
betray me? It's Ubisoft, though, so, you know. They make better sequels anyway. What'd you say?
What?
What'd you say?
I said not 13 times? All the way through?
He's so funny. All right. So we've talked about what games we've been playing and what we want to see out of retro stuff. What else did you guys want to talk about this episode? Anything?
What are you guys gonna play next month?
Oh fuck, that's a good question.
Gears Tactics comes out next month.
Yeah.
Oh my
Much
god,
comes
it
out,
does. Oh, does Wasteland come out next month, or is that May?
I don't think that's next month.
No, yeah, I don't think that's next month.
Gears
let's
Tactics is
see.
next month though. Damn.
April, totally reliable delivery service.
I looked that up. So it's like Gang Beasts, but like you have to deliver a package to a certain location.
Nice.
But it has like the Gang Beasts like physics and everything. So like you have to grapple onto a car, but you're like hanging off and like flailing your arms.
Sure.
It looks super cool.
Sure.
Disaster report for Final Fantasy VII Remake, of course.
Yep. Unloved
Deliverous
homie in the
game.
chat said Final Fantasy VII. Ben was talking about the demo a minute ago. That's how we
Yeah.
actually got on Remake, Our Dream Remake. Cyberpunk is September now. It's no longer April.
Yeah, they got kicked back super far.
Yep.
Trials of Mana. Oh, it's a Square Enix game, so
Yeah, it's like
it's another Mana game.
Yeah. What were the other Mana games called? Mana games called?
Secret
Secret.
Mana.
Is it
I
Mana?
like
or
the
Mana?
one. Whatever. I like the one where it's like an old lady going like this, and it's like it's the secret of Nana. Oh, very funny.
It's perfect.
A lot of Predator Hunting Grounds on PlayStation. If that were on a system that my friends played on, I would be interested in trying that.
We are PlayStation, don't we?
Actually, we all do, yeah. But
Yeah.
Everyone but the Ryan.
I'm
but
always
I'm interested in that.
use my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Is that not coming to any other console?
No, I think it's a PlayStation exclusive. It may be a timed
Why would
exclusive though.
Why would you do that to yourself? That was published by Sony, so.
That's why. I've never
So that's
understood
it for
the
April.
exclusive. I've never understood the exclusive thing unless you're a first party studio. Why? Well, San Diego Studios that makes baseball is
Hold
Sony
up.
owned. So.
Pratt Gamer says Final Fantasy VII is a whole third of the game. That's a big chunk.
Well, if the game's only 40 hours long and the first bit took you 10 hours to get through it, then yeah,
Dude, there's so much game after Midgar though.
not required game.
Yeah, no, there is.
You said
But it's,
you.
he said
you
it's just Midgar. That Midgar is not a third of Final Fantasy. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not. I'd forget what I said earlier. Midgar is not a third of Final Fantasy. No way. You got a whole map to travel. Yeah. Anyway, I hope it's a third. That'd be great. But if
Okay,
it's just
so
Midgar,
it's a less than a third of the
I
original
would
game.
say it's like a seventh or something, an eighth.
$60 for a seventh.
Midgar
of
is a big
original.
chunk, but it's not the whole game. Anyway,
$60 for a seventh.
they say it was a third because it was the whole disc on PS1.
It was a whole disc.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
Time-wise, it's not sure. Well, there's
you
a
guys
lot.
are really contributing. I appreciate everything somebody's saying so far. This is great.
Yeah, it's
But
dope.
I have a question for you guys.
No.
I looked at the Predator Hunting Grounds, and it looked like a Dead by Daylight type.
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, sure.
How come you guys don't play those type of games?
I don't like horror.
I do.
Because when I log on, nobody says, "Hey, you want to play Dead by Daylight?" So I don't play it.
I don't like horror, doo-dah, doo-dah.
Yeah, I
little
play on
bitch like
PC.
that. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Every once in a while.
You like
It's
it?
it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Homie Ben was being 100%
whenever-
genuine when he said he likes all the comments.
No, I did.
He's
I
just a
did.
turd.
If everybody said, "Hey, let's play tonight," I would install it and play it.
I mean,
So there was a point in time where somebody mentioned that and World War Z, so I installed them both. Never fired up a single one of them, and then now they're uninstalled. So,
I'm the culprit behind World War Z for sure. Because I talked about downloading it. We both downloaded it. I never played it.
I do want
I
to play
want.
this.
I always.
That's actually a really good game too.
Yeah.
it looked like it.
I'm interested in the hunting grounds. It looks really dope. Like if 4 or 5 people play and one person plays a predator, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
Be a great
Yep.
game
Yeah.
to play on stream.
Yep.
Shit.
Dead by Daylight's only. I think it's only really good whenever it's private matches.
Sure.
So-
And you rotate the villain. Yeah, just for the fact that like there are some OP people out there that will just kill you constantly. It's like, okay, this is not even fun anymore.
I would play that game and be like a creepy asshole the whole time. If I was the bad guy, I'd like into my mic when I'm close to people just to be annoying.
Dead by Daylight in the Xbox Game Pass.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have it downloaded.
I think we should give that a try.
Okay.
Hey, Caleb,
Watch
it's
that.
not scary.
Hey,
you know
homie,
what's
thanks for the
happening.
follow, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it's.
You gotta grow up sometime. Just
No,
turn
I
the lights
don't.
on. You'll be
No, I
fine.
I don't like horror shit, y'all. I don't. Most of it I don't like.
Lock the door, board up the window, like everything will be fine.
But I'm gonna have to turn off my Xbox and go to bed later.
You're
And
not
my
gonna
house
watch
is.
Doctor Strange next
You
month?
can sleep in the.
I'm gonna watch Doctor Strange. You know
What
what?
about
I
Ghostbusters?
leave. Shut up, Tech. I fucking hate you. I haven't seen Ghostbusters. Fuck off. I come out of my safe bubble occasionally. I played through Dead Space. I
live in South
played
City.
Dying Light. What'd you say?
You live in South City. Your city is horror.
That's why I don't need it in my games.
You're living in somebody else's horror bubble.
That's why I don't need it in my games. I live with horror every day. I work at fucking GameStop. Back to bring it full circle.
Last of Us Part 2 is coming out next month. I mean, the end of next month.
Oh yeah,
so
we
it's
gotta
like
answer what we're playing this month.
Nothing. I mean, Final Fantasy, nothing. I mean, anybody play Resident Evil 3?
No.
You guys gonna play Gears Tactics?
Yes, fuck yes. XCOM is my shit. Tactics games are my shit. Gears Tactics is gonna fuck me up. It's a PC game though, right?
Xbox One and PC.
Oh, it's
and
both.
It's made by Splash Damage.
Yeah, Splash Damage did Bulletstorm. I think they did
Oh.
Bulletstorm. I want to. It's probably cross-platform because it's fucking. It's definitely
Hey,
cross-platform.
Ego Brain plays Sea of Thieves and Star Citizen.
Hey man, that's dope.
Uh,
We talked
yeah.
about Star Citizen last week, right? Reached
I
like
don't know.
$240 million in crowdfunding. Just dog
Yeah.
shit.
And it hasn't even been fully released
It's
yet.
not even 1.0 yet. That's fine.
That game's incredible.
I think this month. So this month I've got a couple of things on the docket. I just got code for a game called Blood Roots. It's a little indie game that looks like a little twin stick shooter / slasher. A lot of melee combat in it. So I'll be playing that. I got it on my PS4, so I have to switch some HDMI's, but I should be able to stream it. It's been a crazy week though, so I haven't been able to get to it. So sorry, Pop Agenda, if you're watching and wondering where my review is. It'll come eventually. I didn't get the code till Sunday or Monday though, so chill. And then MLB The Show 20 comes out on the 13th, which is next. Oh fuck, that's next Friday.
Oh, that's
Pratt.
It says 17.
If you buy the $80 version, you get it on the 13th.
Oh, excuse us.
Thank you for following
sorry.
Pratt. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
I'll probably get the $80 version. It's the 15th anniversary.
$80
fuck
version of
with
what? I'm sorry.
MLB The Show.
Oh yeah.
I fuck with baseball so much, y'all.
What does it give
How do you
you?
feel about Azuna? Azuna getting left.
So interestingly, I'm not super bummed about it. We have a lot of talent. The Cardinals, for those of you who don't know, Marcelo Ozuna was a left fielder we got from Miami a couple years ago who had a 40 home run season in Miami and then came here for 2 years and didn't hit more than 30. So that's fine. We have a really good.
Camp overweight.
What's up?
He kept showing up to camp overweight. He did 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and he was supposed to get he was supposed to get rehab because he had an arm injury his first season with us.
Yep.
And then came back to spring training the next season and hadn't done some of the procedures. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm not worried about it. We have a lot of talent in the outfield with Tyler O'Neill and Harrison Bader and
I literally just asked you that to test how big into baseball you are. So,
Yeah. I'm 100% in. The Cardinals have a
You're in.
very deep outfield that has a lot of talent, and it's a lot of young talent that's quick and strong. And Ben, shut the fuck up.
Sea of Thieves. Warframe.
See,
couldn't
this
help it.
Warframe.
You back?
Ben's
Here's
like,
Tech. Here's Tech. We're talking about Final Fantasy. Here's Tech.
Yo,
Like the light on his face already makes him look kind of deathly, but I think I saw color leave his face. He went into stasis standby.
I like how Ben acted asleep and Tech tried to wake him up like people try to wake up Pierce in Community. Racial discrimination lawsuit. That's preposterous.
That's funny.
Oh fuck! All right, so we've talked about what we've been playing and what we're gonna play. What in terms of movies, shows, music, books? What do you want to share with people before we head out? Tech, why don't you lead us off?
Last night I went to the movie theaters and saw The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss, and it was fire. It
All right.
was start to finish pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It
Crowd feedback's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of like a continuation of the Universal Dark, but it's not because obviously they failed that. Had they have done something like this first, they would have a successful, 100% a successful universe to pull from, because this was really good.
Yeah.
You have to, yeah.
Cool.
Elizabeth Moss is one of the best actresses you'll get.
I
She was Handmaid's Tale and
yeah. West
in,
Wing.
West Wing.
She was young
She's
in
amazing.
West Wing.
She's
I watched that for like a season and was like, oh shit, that's Elizabeth Moss. I didn't realize it initially because she's like 13 or 14.
And one last thing that I consumed was the story of Gabriel Hernandez on Netflix. It was ended up the past weekend being because now Netflix does this rating thing. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Yeah, trending in America.
Yeah, they have a top 10 trending in America. And this was #1 this weekend. It's a miniseries documentary on this kid. It's dark. It's a true story and it's fucked up. So if you see it, you should watch it.
Yeah, about DCFS and family services neglect.
Yeah.
And that shit. Yeah, and then you shared something on Facebook that was similar about like a family getting a kid taken because they were smoking weed or whatever.
Yeah, that's an older story, but the St. Louis News posted it today for some reason. It's a story from 4 or 5 years ago, but the father was smoking weed every night after he put his child to bed. Child was happy and healthy, but DFS took the child away, and they gave it to a family who the father was a recovering crack addict, and they beat the sleeves off the child until the child died. So,
Yeah.
we took,
Boy, this got dark.
there you go.
This got dark.
I tiptoed around Gabriel Hernandez because it's darker than that, but it was just as dark, if
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, for sure. Ryan, cheer us up.
Please tell us you've been watching Disney.
Yeah, how do I follow that?
Literally with anything. Anything.
No, I've been watching some just random Adam Sandler movies. I think I watched Grown Ups again. I enjoy that. I watched Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, Grown Ups 2. Like I think me and the wife went on a Adam Sandler like marathon, and it was actually pretty good. I haven't seen most of those movies in a very, very long time. I don't know if you guys like them. You guys seem very engaged.
I haven't.
but-
I've seen. I'm gonna show my ass again because people love to see that. I've seen Waterboy. Haven't seen Happy Gilmore. Haven't seen Mr. Deeds. Haven't seen Little Nicky. Haven't seen.
I hate that you know all the names, but you still haven't seen them.
Because my mom super disliked. I don't know if she's still the same way. Super disliked Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Can I give
And
you guys a fun fact real quick about
Yeah.
Adam Sandler movie? Morty, from Rick and Morty, there's a character in Click who gives him the remote control that allows him to pause time.
Mhm.
Is softly based is what influenced them to make Rick and Morty, and is Christopher Walken's character is the actor, and his name in Click is Morty.
Oh, nice.
And if you look at the pictures of him, like if you look at it, he looks like Rick.
Yeah, he does. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Wow,
Click and Morty.
Yeah.
Click and Morty.
that's funny.
But Longest Yard I think is one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. And my wife, she hated Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell comedy. And I was like, okay, so we got to fix this. So we watched a bunch of movies, and like she came around with Adam Sandler. I gotta work on some good Will Ferrell movies for her to watch. Like Anchorman, she wouldn't get that comedy, unfortunately,
Sure.
even though it's a really good freaking movie. I enjoyed it.
I've seen
But-
The Longest Yard. I forgot that was a Sandler movie. I've seen
Yeah.
that movie though.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. But yeah, I've just been watching movies lately. I don't watch much TV show. Not as many as you guys. I don't know how you find the time of day to play games and to watch all these TV series. Like I haven't watched
No,
I
don't get to watch a lot of stuff.
anything. All these superhero shows that are on Netflix, I've missed all of them.
Oh, skip
I
all of
haven't
them
had-
but Daredevil and Punisher. You'll be fine.
But it's just like I can't do it. I can't sit and watch TV for that long.
Tech frowned at me. I'm of the unpopular persuasion. I didn't super
Can't talk
like
about
Luke Cage.
Jessica Jones, and you didn't like Luke Cage.
I didn't super like Luke Cage. I liked season 2
So,
more than.
You're the type of person who like Iron Fist, didn't you?
I did not like Iron Fist at all. I didn't even fuck with season 2. I didn't touch that at all. Jessica Jones season 1 is super good, but if we're boiling it, if someone's talking about not having a lot of time, and we're boiling it down to the essentials, I'm gonna go Punisher and Daredevil every time, because those two shows were season 1 of Punisher. I didn't finish season 2.
I didn't like Daredevil. Season 2.
I think season 2 is meh, but season 3 is very good. Daredevil season 3 is.
Oh, you know what? I stopped watching. I need to watch them.
Oh, season 3 is like the best Marvel TV show. Season 3 is
If
incredible.
I'm gonna sit and watch anything, I'm just gonna put The Office on.
That's the problem, right? Is that we have fallbacks.
Go wrong with The Office.
You guys love The Office more than you should.
Yep.
Hey! No, nobody asked you, okay?
Hey, what's up with this Killjoy movement of being like, you like a thing too fucking much? Fuck off.
Yeah.
I personally think The Office is slightly overrated. That's all. That's just my opinion.
It's like
right.
when Caleb binge watched a show all in one day, and we gave him grief about it because he didn't get out of bed for like 6 hours.
No,
Because you
it was
didn't like it doesn't mean it's overrated.
2 hours.
I did like The Office, by the way. I just think that people like it a little too much. This is my opinion. Fuck me, right?
Don't like that.
Parks and Rec is the shit. Parks and Rec is the shit. There's 3 shows that I rotate. It's Parks and Rec, The Office, and Community. Ben has told me I watch Parks and Rec too much. Now apparently he thinks I watch The Office too much. And we all think he plays Warframe too much, so it's fine. We can all have bad opinions. Ben,
Got him.
what have you been interacting with outside of games?
Really, the only thing is The Outsider on HBO.
Yeah, apparently you had a dream about a friend doing murders because you're watching that show.
Yeah, maybe that might explain it. But no, it's real dark. It actually starts out much darker, and then it does all the investigative stuff, so it sort of calms down. And now it's reaching the end, so it's kind of ramping back up into disturbing territory. But it's very slow television. It's extremely slow. It's something only HBO probably has the balls to do, but not much happens per episode. It's but it's good. It's very good.
Sounds dreadful.
Yeah, you would hate it. There's not enough explosions, but it was good.
It's like, what does that mean?
We'll argue about that tomorrow.
Oh, are we podcasting tomorrow?
No, tomorrow's an off week.
So,
Gym.
so
We'll argue in the gym.
oh, okay. Tomorrow was when we normally record, though, right?
Argue in the gym loudly.
No.
Anyway, so that's really about it. I'm still working through a bunch of old books that aren't worth talking about, and I guess I'm reading Sean Murphy's White Knight comic book run and Daniel Warren Johnson's Wonder Woman books, which I showed you last week. So those are still running. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Tech, are you watching the stream?
Yeah.
Drop a link in for 60 Minute Shit Show. They're asking what the fuck tomorrow being an off week means, because that is a weird thing to say in a
That is a weird thing
context.
to say.
Tomorrow an off week.
Tomorrow's an off week. Thanks for the follow, Ego Brain. You guys are awesome. Thanks for everyone hopping in and giving us follows. I watched.
So is our following going to be the Biddy Bunch, like the Brady Bunch, but for
the
bits?
Biddy Bunch? Sure. Just in case you guys leave before we quit, we actually do this every week. Same time, Wednesday, 10:30 Central Time. So every week's a different topic. So come join us, and we interact with chat like this every week. So come hang out.
So the Nerdy Bits following is called the Bits Brigade because it sounds like the Bitch Brigade.
There's actually a traveling rock band called Bit Brigade that
I said Bits Brigade
that performs video game soundtracks live on stage.
Right.
It's very good.
They did Mega Man.
Tech, that's why I invited you to Blueberry Hill, where they played Mega Man and played the music live.
Oh man, I should have went.
Yeah,
You didn't explain to me, right?
I did. I showed you a video and everything.
I should have gone. He didn't explain it to me, right?
It sounds like that night we were the Bitch Brigade. But anyway.
That sounds pretty cool. As soon as you said it just now, it's like, I'd love to go to that, and then you just told me that.
Nah, straight up Bitch Brigade. Straight up Bitch Brigade's going out to the Grove with Ryan and not being able to find a parking spot and being like, let's just go home.
Let's get beer, go home, and play video games.
That
It's not
shit-
like
that
let's
shit
just go
happened.
home.
That should
I'm not
happen.
mad
It
at
did happen.
Yo, I've turned up. I've like stopped. I had a whole mission, and parking was so bad. I said I don't care that much.
Yep.
I just don't care. Like, so I'm not mad at that at all. Like, fuck that.
It was funny. It was very funny. Okay, so I've been. I watched the first episode of the Altered Carbon season 2 yesterday.
So did I.
I liked it a lot.
It's pretty interesting.
It's interesting. I love
Mhm.
Anthony Mackie getting more gigs and more gigs as a leading man. He's even cooler. I can't.
But what I didn't like
Ooh, can't-
was how many times that camera fucking cut in that fight scene. That was not a good fight scene. I'm sorry.
It did cut a lot. It did cut a lot.
It was fucking noxious. Apparently, there's one later that's remarkable. But, every episode's probably directed by somebody different.
Yeah, sure.
But that was not good.
Y'all,
I was really annoyed.
if you don't know what Every Frame of Painting is, it's a YouTube channel that hasn't put anything out for a while because he got a gig doing something because of the videos he made. But he has some foundational videos. One of them, I think, altered the musical landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it criticized them for not having any singable tunes, and now we can all hum the Avengers song. But then he has one on Jackie Chan and shooting action right, and I can't watch action without criticizing it now. It's not just like a director does it right, a director does it wrong. It's like Western directors fuck it up, and Chinese directors have gotten it right for decades. And watching a Jackie Chan movie and the fight scenes and how they're filmed, not just choreographed, filmed, makes a huge difference. Which is why I'm super excited for Shang-Chi in the Marvel Universe, because it's a Chinese-directed, Chinese-starring kung fu movie in the Marvel Universe, and it's going to fucking slap.
Probably will.
But anyway, and punch. It's going to slap and punch. I'm a dad, so my humor sucks. Watched Altered Carbon and liked it. Listen, I'm a boring motherfucker this week. That's really all I've done that's new. Shout out to dads in the chat. Ben, do you have a Smurf fact for us?
Yeah, I do, actually.
All right, so at the end of the show, right before we say goodbye to everybody, hashtag Team Dad Jokes, we give you a fun fact to take home and chew on a little bit. We call it our Smurf fact because it was originally created by our old friend Smurf. He's been busy with coaching kids sports and things recently, so he hasn't been able to provide them himself, but Ben is adept at Google Foo and finds good Smurf facts, so we play this little ditty that introduces Smurf facts. Smurf facts, oh yeah. That nobody that I'm in the podcast with can hear, but y'all can hear, and it's fun for me to just...
I was about to say.
I need to figure out a way to get that to feed through my microphone, because it's just a...
You should have fucked with Tech, dude. Tech was just waiting. He's like, okay.
I went like this.
You didn't hear that?
Yeah. He was like, what is going on?
Anyway.
When astronauts return from spacewalks and remove their helmets, they are welcomed back with a peculiar smell. An odor that is distinct and weird, something astronauts have described as seared steak and also hot metal, and also welding fumes.
Yeah, it's the smell of space. That's what space smells
apparently
like.
Space smells like steak and seared metal. Seared steak and metal. Hot metal.
Seared?
Anyway.
Pan-seared metal. Pan-seared pan.
And one spacewalker also said it smells a little bit like gunpowder. So space has a smell. So how about that?
Tech's like, we've never been to space. How would we know?
I should make that a full episode of our podcast where we just argue about the moon landing.
I'm not studied enough to argue about that. So people are morons talking about shit they found on Google.
Also,
speaking of,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of astronauts, the longest time in space at once was 437 days before somebody returned home.
How did they not die?
They
How
were
do you wash
probably
your clothes?
They were probably very weak. How do you wash your clothes? Is that what you asked?
That's a lot of clothes, dude.
You guys hear about the asteroid?
Hear about what?
Asteroid, one of the big asteroids gonna pass us.
Nice.
Like
NASA,
now?
yeah, like NASA put it out a couple days ago. Like it's supposedly gonna miss us, but it's one of the biggest ones in a long time.
I was gonna say there hasn't been any like high alert about this asteroid, so hopefully it misses us.
Yo,
Yeah.
It's supposedly it's gonna miss.
Yo, just
I
so
was
you
gonna
know,
take a
Ryan.
90-degree, just like.
Just so you know, Ryan, even if there was one gonna hit us, we wouldn't fucking know about it.
It's true.
They would not tell you.
You think they'd tell us?
No.
No,
Not
they
if it
wouldn't
was
tell
going to do catastrophic damage. Fuck no, they wouldn't.
But we got to get Ben Affleck out there and Liv Tyler.
Oh,
Of
shit.
course.
We talked about this with Ben the other day. I listened to a podcast that talked about this. We wouldn't fly a thing into it to blow it up. We would fly rockets out to it to match its speed and
Push
then
it.
attach to it and then just push it off trajectory. Like it's something we've tested before, which is fucking bananas.
Japan landed a rover on an asteroid and took pictures.
Yeah, and it's
So
eerie as fuck.
it's capable. We can do it. I mean, if you believe that tech. So I guess.
The technology or I get it. Last fun fact, because things smelling like things reminded me. Apparently cyanide smells like peanuts.
Cool.
Think about how the fuck we figured that out.
Quick, tell us! Quick, tell us!
Hurry up, Jim.
And what's funny is he was probably saying penis, but he passed out. Peanut! And they're like, did he say penis or peanuts? And they were like, he said peanuts.
It's peanuts.
Did he say penis? No.
Last thing, are we gonna play Titanfall after this?
Oh, yeah, we will be playing something after this.
Like Titanfall?
I mean, I'll play Titanfall. Does everybody have Titanfall installed?
Nope.
Ryan, what the fuck? You're a bad person.
I haven't played any of the Titanfalls, so.
Titanfall 2 is like $5. Go get
Man,
it.
it's twitchy, man. I think you'd love it.
Yeah, you'd
It's
love
real
it.
fast.
You'd love it.
Yeah.
You'd love it.
Am I an addict or? I don't get it.
It's fast.
It's,
It's a fast.
it's so twitchy, bro. It's so
It's
good.
a fast 60 frames reaction-based shooter. So
Yeah.
it's very quick. Yeah.
So in wrapping,
Every mode feels like hardcore.
yes, it's true. It's true. So in wrapping up for everybody, we will be getting on streaming after this. We're probably gonna be playing Titanfall. It sounds like, since 3 of us have it. Ryan, install it. It'll be ready in a couple minutes. It's only like 10 gigs. It's not at 60. Ha! Joke's on you. Over the next month, we reached out on Facebook and had some people give us feedback for questions and topics they wanted to see on the show. So over the next month, I didn't tell anybody because I'm a great person. I planned out 3 episodes in a 101 series. One of the responses we got was people wanting like tips for how we play first-person shooters and other games like that. So we're going to do an episode dedicated to FPS. We're going to do an episode the next week dedicated to Battle Royale, which I think everyone here has specific strategies for it. Most of them good, one of them bad. And then we have... I pointed to Ben in the cameras on my screen, which would be different for everybody
I was
else.
gonna say, I thought that should be more for Ben. It looked like you were pointing it to Sergeant.
No, sorry, that
Definitely
way.
needs to be more for Ben.
That way. the
bad.
right trigger shoots.
No, he's not bad. He's not bad.
No, he's not bad. We gave him some shit once. And then the 3rd episode will be PvE stuff. So people that play Destiny, people that play, like Destiny is the number one thing that comes to mind. But games like that where you're working cooperatively and we're focused on team builds and stuff like that. And then after that, we have a fun episode with me and Ben's cousin, who has built sets on Stranger Things for the last couple of years, and who was an extra in Walking Dead and the last Hunger Games movie, to talk about some behind-the-scenes shit from movies, because we're a nerd podcast above all. We talk about games mostly, but we also love movies and comics and TV, so we figured we should get some people on to talk about stuff like that we like.
That'd be fun.
So hang out with us for the next month. We've got some really cool stuff planned, and then that it'll be April, and we'll all have Final Fantasy to talk about and Gears Tactics to talk about, and we'll start it all over again. Tech frowned twice. Well, Tech, you'll get something cool this month too. I'm sure of it. But if you want to follow the podcast or the blog Nerdy Bits that the podcast is on, you can go to nerdybits.com. All of our social media is there. You can find links to all the podcasts and all the different services there. If you want to follow me, Specifically, it's at Lubwub everywhere it's important. Instagram, Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation. Send me an invite. We will play games eventually. I like hanging out with new people, so we'll do it. Ryan, where can people find you, and what's your stream schedule?
Sergeant Sodium on Mixer, Twitter, Instagram, and on Xbox. My stream schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time till I decide to go to sleep.
Dope. Ben, where can people find you?
SketchSawyer.com or everywhere at SketchSawyer.
Dope. And Tech, where can people find you? And since we have some new people in the chat this week, what project did you put out you want people to know about?
Oh yeah, I'm a music producer, hip hop EDM. I just released a project called the Grooveline EP, Volume 2. It's on all streaming services. Anywhere that music is streamed, just type in Tech Supreme, and you'll find me.
Dope.
Yep.
Dope. All right. So that's going to do it for us this week for the podcast. Again, if you want to hang out with us while we play games, we'll be back online doing some gaming in about 10 minutes. Just telling the guys in the chat right now, I'm going to kill the call right after this because if I move to the other overlay, it makes a bunch of shit choke up. So I'll catch you guys online in a little bit. But thank you for listening. Thank you for the raid. I can't remember who the person was who brought the raid. Let me scroll up because I'm a bad person and I forget these things.
Video Game Bang.
Game Bang. Yeah, thanks for that raid. Thank you, Ego Brain and Unloved Homie and Pratt for hanging out and giving us follows and being active in the chat. That shit's dope. We'll be back live next week, Wednesday at 10:30. The podcast goes up. If you didn't catch all of it, you can listen to it on Fridays when we post it on all the podcast services. You'll be able to find it anywhere. But thanks for hanging out. Like I said, we'll be back. And I don't know. Catch you next week. What do we have a? We should have a closing line.
A sign off. We said catch you on the flippity flip.
Catch you on the flippity flip. We did. I forgot. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Toodles.